Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game most well known for its diverse roster of characters with over 80 characters in the game. And each and every character has 8 costumes you can choose from in a battle. Multiply that by the 80-some characters and you end up with almost 300 costumes. That's a lot. And within that group, there's bound to be some bad apples that Nintendo did not design so well. So today, we're ranking every single costume in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, starting from the N64 fighters and ending with the final DLC fighter in a 6-part series. Today, we're ranking the N64 fighters, so let's get started. A couple of notes before we begin. This tier list is being ranked based off of 3 categories. 1, how good the costume looks on the character. 2, where the inspiration comes from. And 3, how it has evolved and changed. If it had a bad change, it's going to be ranked lower, or if it's had a positive change, it's going to be probably ranked higher. Obviously, since I'm a human being, I have my own opinions about things, so please don't take it personally if your favorite costume I rank super low or something. It's not a personal attack on you. Again, I'm going to make this as unbiased as I possibly can. And another note, every single fighter's default costume or costumes will be immediately ranked in A tier just because, you know, that's their original design. It's great, it looks good on the character, that's how they were created. It doesn't deserve any higher or any lower than that. So, every default costume will be ranked at A tier. Let's begin. Alright, so first things first, we've got the first fighter in the Super Smash Bros. Series, Mario. We're gonna slide his default costume into A tier. And there we go. As I mentioned, each fighter's original costume will be ranked in A tier, so we've already done that with Mario. Let's move on to his first ult. Mario's first ult is his American Golf costume from the NES golf game, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to fact check this. I'll put the references somewhere on screen in the final edit of this. I really like this costume. In Smash 4, I played this one a lot when I was playing Mario. I thought it, you know, just looked the coolest. This one's an S tier. It's S tier because it looks great on Mario. It's one of, his first ever alternate appearances in spin-off games. I think Nintendo did a really good job of implementing this into Smash Bros. And, I mean, it really only had one change, and that was just its updated version to Ultimate. So, yeah, S tier. Next up is Mario's blue and pink costume. Again, I'm not sure where this one originates from, so I'll have the reference somewhere on this screen so you guys know where that comes from. This costume, I think, it doesn't look too bad on Mario. It's definitely a weird color choice for sure, but the more I look at it, the more I realize it's not a terrible choice. I don't think it's the greatest costume that they could have chosen. I definitely miss the Wario and Fire Mario costumes from Smash 4 a lot, even though, you know, that was the Builder Mario and Wedding Mario that replaced those. But I think they definitely could have taken this one out for something a little bit better, so this one is an A tier. Next up is Mario's, like, gray color ults. I don't really know what the color is for his hat in overalls. It's very weird. But this one has evolved since Smash 64, and Smash 64 is more of a beige costume. Mario had kind of like a more traditional brown hat and overalls with a, again, beige undershirt. And this one is a Smash original costume, I'm pretty sure. Again, I will fact check that and have that reference on screen. I think this one's just kind of bland. Again, it's one of those costumes where I would be totally fine if it was not in the game. I wouldn't mind it missing. I mean, it's basic. I don't think it's the greatest. Yeah, this one's a B tier just because of lack of inspiration and creativity. Next up is Mario's purple ult. This one is based off of Waluigi in his clothes and how he looks. This one is amazing. The inspiration's great. It looks fantastic on Mario. And I would be honestly kind of sad if they took this one out of the game, mainly because I play this costume. It's my favorite one. From Mario's 8 costumes, this one is an S tier. Next up is Mario's green and brown costume. Again, have no idea where it came from, don't know why it exists. This is a D tier costume. Like, seriously, what? It's so... If you don't know what the reference is, you have, like, why does it exist? It just doesn't look good on Mario. The green feels offsetting, especially on Mario's character. I feel like, again, that's Luigi's color, so green on Luigi would look great, but again, this one just lacks originality and inspiration. That's why it's in D tier. Builder Mario and Wedding Mario are both S tier costumes because of their, like, the main inspiration. Obviously, Builder Mario is from Super Mario Maker, released for the Wii U and 3DS in 2015. Wedding Mario, based off of Super Mario Odyssey, released in 2017 for the Nintendo Switch. These two costumes are really good. I mean, they look great in Ultimate, and they just look great on Mario in general, so both of these are S tier. Alright, now we got DK. His first costume is his kind of, like, darkish gray color. He looks like an actual monkey now. Although I don't think from his multitude of colored costumes that he has, it's not the greatest, so this one also goes in A tier with his default costume. Next one is this kind of, like, reddish-orange color. I'm not really sure what color it is. This one is another A tier costume just because, I mean, it looks good on DK. It's not as bright or as colorful as his next 5. Next up is DK's green costume. I mean, I'm just gonna say it now. Green, purple, and pink S tier costumes. They look fantastic. DK looks silly in these costumes. Like, they shouldn't be on a monkey. So those 3 are S tier costumes. That's where they're going. Alright, next up we have his yellow and white costumes. His yellow one, I mean, if you wanted this to be a top tier costume for DK, make it a bright yellow. Right now it's just a golden yellow. And I know, like, I don't know if you can see it that well. My little image that I have over there. I feel like it's just a little bit too bland for my liking. And maybe you guys are in the same boat. It just doesn't look as bright or as colorful as some of his other costumes, so this one's also going to go into A tier. His white costume, I hear, is based off of a villain, or like one of the bosses in Tropical Freeze. And if so, his tie is still red, and people want it to be blue. But I still kind of like the white DK. I think that's going to be another A tier for me. It's definitely not as cool or as colorful as the green, purple, or pink ones. So this one is another A tier. That's it for DK. Next up is Link, so let's move on. Link's first 2 costumes are his Champion's Tunic and his Hero of the Wild set, both from Breath of the Wild. They both go into A tier because they're the base costumes for the remaining palette swaps that he has. So those both go into A tier. A quick note before we begin, I'll be using the terms palette swap and costumes interchangeably because they're the same thing, so if you hear the term palette swap, don't be scared, I'm still talking about the costumes. Alright, Link's first palette swap is his red costume. I don't know where this one comes from, honestly. I don't know what it's based off of. Yeah, that's really all I have to say for it. I still think it looks really good on Link, and I think he had a red costume in Smash 4. It's been forever since I've played Smash 4. I don't even think I have the game anymore. I think this one's going to be in their A tier. Fierce Deity Link, S tier. It looks amazing. Even in this less epic form, Fierce Deity Link still looks like Fierce Deity Link. And it's always been one of my favorite costumes for Link. So this is an S tier. Next is his navy blue costume, which is based off of, I'm pretty confident, the Royal Guard costumes in Breath of the Wild. And honestly, it looks amazing on Link. This is the costume that I play mostly when I'm playing Link. And I think it just looks fantastic. I love the inspiration for it, being from, obviously, his most recent game. And again, it looks super cool on Link. And if you've seen Link with the Royal Guard's costume in Breath of the Wild, he looks fantastic. He could totally pass off as one. Yeah, this one is another S tier. Next is, I have no idea where this costume comes from. It's like a weird, like, seafoamish, like, faded seafoam color. I don't know. I don't have any idea where it comes from, and I was never a huge fan of the Hero of the Wild set in Smash Ultimate to begin with. I never really liked the way it looked. I didn't like the long sleeves and then the shorts style with the really tall boots. I never really liked it to begin with. So I think if I knew where this came from, it may be an A tier, but because, one, I have no idea what the inspiration is, and two, Hero of the Wild set, in my opinion, is already not the greatest costume. This one is a B tier. Next up is Link's white costume. I don't know where this inspiration comes from, but I like the champion's tunic look, and if you don't, you're wrong. And I think it looks fine on Link, but again, I don't think it's the greatest costume that he has, so this is another A tier costume. Along with Fierce Deity Link, Dark Link has been another fan favorite costume for quite a while, and it's been one of mine as well. It looks fantastic in Breath of the Wild, and even transferring over to be a palette swap or like color change over the Hero of the Wild set, I still think it looks fantastic in Smash Ultimate, so this is another S tier. That will do it for Link. Next up is Samus. Alright, for Samus, the default costume obviously goes into A tier. And it may be a little hard to tell that that's the default costume. That's because for the photo that we took for this, we had Samus charge a charge shot. But even though you turn, like, effects off, the lighting still applies, so that's why it looks weird. But yes, that is the default Samus costume. The first alternate costume for Samus is, I believe it's the fusion suit, reference, or based costume, and I kind of like it. I'm personally not a fan of Metroid. Not that I hate the game, I just haven't played it, so I don't understand a lot of the lore or story behind Metroid and all these costumes. But I do like the fusion suit a lot, although I don't think it is as good compared to some of Samus's other costumes, so this is A tier. By the way, before we continue, since I just looked it up, using SmashWiki.com for all these references and origins for the costumes. I probably should have done this for the past 3 fighters, but I will fact-check this while editing and show those references on screen for the last 3 fighters. I'll let you know the reference starting now, because I have it pulled up. So, this pink costume, I think that's what that is. Yeah, it's really hard to tell because of the lighting on Norfair. But this pink costume, it's based off of the gravity suit from Super Metroid, but more closely resembles the color scheme of the Varia suit in Metroid 1. Missiles are selected. I don't know how I feel about this costume. It's just kind of a meh for me. I think this is going to be another A tier costume. Next up is this, like, brown and grayish costume. It's based off of the dark suit in Metroid Prime 2. Echoes, this one. I've never played any of the Metroid games, although I probably should, and I'm probably at some point this month or in February gonna play through Metroid and Super Metroid on the Nintendo Switch Online softwares. I'm gonna put it in B. I don't think it looks great on Samus. It's just kind of a meh costume. I don't think it fits Samus in Smash Ultimate. I don't know. Again, I've never really played Metroid, so I don't think these rankings are the greatest that I could rank them. Yeah, so the A tier. Next is this purple and pink red suit. This one more resembles the gravity suit in Metroid Prime. I noticed that pink one, which is the third costume up there, that's because it's based off of the in-game sprite, not the actual, like, design for it, I think. I don't know. But this next one, purple and reddish, is based off of the gravity suit in Metroid Prime. I think it looks pretty good on Samus, although these rankings are hard. A lot of these are just kind of like, the inspirations come from the games, but they're just generic. This is probably going to be another A tier. This next costume is a B tier costume because the inspiration does not come from a Metroid game. It comes from a completely different series called the Gundam series, in which it's based off the character MS-06 Zaku 2. And Sakurai refers to this costume as Green Samus, because of the green arms, which you can't see in the shot that I have for you. But it should be down in the bottom left corner over there. Yeah. This one is a B tier costume because inspiration is not from Metroid game. And I don't think it looks good on Samus, honestly. White and black costumes, S tier. They look fantastic. Like, whoever was designing these did it incredibly. I don't know how long these costumes have been around in the Smash Bros. Series, but they look fantastic. Especially that black one. It's fantastic. The white suit is based off the light suit in Metroid Prime 2. The black costume's origin is very strange. It comes from the Power Trooper, but only when the Power Trooper's copying Samus's Power Beam attack from Metroid Prime. And this replaced Samus's Dark Samus costume in Smash 4, and earlier, I think it may have been in Brawl, I'm not sure. But yeah, these two costumes are fantastic. S tier. Alright, now it's time for the Yoshman. First of all, his default costume into A tier. And probably all of his other costumes go into A tier. I mean, they're not really better than each other. I mean, they're all based off of a color that originally appeared in Yoshi's Island or Yoshi's Story. I forget which game it was. But they're all just generic Yoshi colors that you can see throughout the Mario franchise. In multiplayer games, the most common ones that you'll see are the red, pink, and I think it's... No, it's... I forget, but New Super Mario Bros. Wii, when you're playing 4 people, the Yoshis that can spawn, I believe, are green, yellow, pink, and the light blue. But yeah, these are all just colors that have just appeared in a lot of Yoshi media throughout the years. And yeah, we'll get to his crafted costume later. Alright, his crafted costume. See, here's the thing. I want to be super biased, and I think everybody will agree with me if I drop this anywhere below A tier. Because it's lame. It replaced Black Yoshi from Smash 4, and Black Yoshi looked fantastic. I mean, if this was a Smash 4 costume tier, I'd probably put Black Yoshi at the top. It looks amazing. But Crafted Yoshi replaced that, because obviously Yoshi's Craftable was released before Ultimate was. I mean, but the inspiration is pretty good. I mean, it's from Yoshi's Craftable, obviously. But I truly don't know where to put this. This is either an S tier costume, if I'm going unbiased because of the inspiration. Maybe it's an A tier because I don't think it looks good, actually. It does not look that good. I don't know. I'm gonna put this in purgatory between A and B tier. You guys, let me know what you think, because it's an A tier because inspiration gets it highly ranked up, but then I don't think it looks good, like the way the material shaders that they used to pull off this effect. I don't think it was pulled off as well as they would have hoped. Or if I want to go biased, it's dropping down way far. So I'm stuck between. I can't decide. You guys let me know where I should put it in. Probably at the end, I'll have like a big tier list of everything ranked in each tier. And whichever one you guys decide you want Crafted Yoshi in, I'll put it there. So comment on this video, or I'll post a poll on Twitter after this video goes live, and you guys can answer there. That's twitter.com/McBraggins_YT. The MB and YT are all capitalized. Yeah. That's where I stand on Crafted Yoshi. I can't really decide. So let's move on to the next fighter. We got the Pink Man himself, Kirby. His default costume, goes into A tier. And here's the thing. Kirby, he looks too darn freaking cute in all of his costumes. I feel like that there's, like, no denying that. He's just too adorable to be ranked anything lower than A tier. We're gonna rapid fire these references and probably put them all in A tier or S tier. Yellow Kirby, referred to as Kirby, directly from Kirby's Dream Course. Blue Kirby, the Ice Kirby in Kirby Superstars. Red Kirby, Fire Kirby in Kirby Superstar. Green Kirby is a reference to various Kirby titles, and Plasma Kirby in Kirby Superstar Ultra. This white monochromatic Kirby, it directly references his monochromatic sprite in Kirby's Dreamland. Orange Kirby resembles Kirby's appearance after using the orange spray paint in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror in Kirby Squeak Squad. And then the purple one is Meta Knight Unmasked. All of these are amazing costumes, I'd say. The only ones I'm willing to put in A tier, I'd say, are orange, probably the gray one as well. But all the other ones are S tier worthy. Again, I mean, Kirby's just so darn freaking cute. Like, I literally cannot express how adorable he is. He's literally just too cute for words. So that's Kirby. That was a pretty quick one, I'd say. I mean, Kirby just looks fantastic in all of his costumes. Yeah, let's move on. All right, now we got fighter number 6, Fox. His default costume, A tier. This next costume, his second one, is referred to as Dark Fox. He's got, you can't really see it in the photo, but he's got like a navy blue vest on. He's got a red undershirt. And he just has a darker fur color. And it's based on Brawl Dojo. I'm not really sure what Brawl Dojo is. If you know, let me know in the comments. This one actually doesn't look terrible. I think it looks really cool, in fact. But not as cool as some as the others coming up. So this isn't A tier. Third is his like red, pink costume. I don't really know. It's technically red is what it says, but like he has a pink vest on. And again, you can't see it. I did not take the greatest screenshots for this, but yeah, it resembles his Player 1 appearance from Star Fox Assault's Versus mode, and Falco's appearance in Assault as well. I like the inspiration. The inspiration is pretty good. And I don't really know. I think that's enough to give it S tier. The inspiration alone. It looks pretty good on Fox. It looks pretty good in Ultimate. I don't know. I think this has been in other Smash games. I don't know which ones specifically. But yeah, S tier. If you think it deserves A tier, let me know, and I'm considering moving it to A tier. If you think it deserves A tier, I'll probably move it in once I make the big tier list later after all 6 parts. Next is his green costume, based off of his Player 4 appearance from Assault's Versus mode, and then his original concept art from the original Star Fox. I want to throw this under the bus because I don't like green costumes, but it actually doesn't look bad, and I think that's enough to give it A tier. It definitely does not look as cool as the pink one, but it is still worthy of A tier, so that's where it will go. Next is his orange costume. It's based off of Falco's appearance, which is weird, in Star Fox 64 and Star Fox 64 3D, and I really like the orange costume. It looks great on him. Although the inspiration is a little bit obscure, I still really enjoy it. This is another S tier costume. Next is his like white alternate green. I don't know. And nobody knows the inspiration for this either. Again, I said I'm referencing Smash Wiki for all this, and they don't have an origin for this at time of recording. But I mean, looking at it, it doesn't look terrible. And I do like, because in all the other costumes, besides the default one, he has like his sleeve with his like emblem on it or whatever. But it's like the solid color. On this one, it's got like the green outline up on the shoulder, and then on this part of the shoulder, It's kind of like a gray color, and I kind of like that. It's really cool, like the way they mix that up. Although, again, it's just kind of, that'd probably be something I wear on an everyday basis. A tier. Next costume is his yellow costume, which is based off of the Player 3 appearance in Assaults Versus mode. I don't know why they didn't do the Player 2 one, which I believe is blue. But I'm not sure. I'll probably have that picture somewhere. I'm not a huge fan of the yellow costume, I'm gonna be honest. I think it clashes a little bit too much with his fur, although it could just be my inner artist speaking. I don't know. I don't want to put it in B tier solely because of that reason, so I think it's gonna be another A tier one. Next, his final costume is his costume that's based off of Wolf, his purple costume. And that's what everybody calls this costume. Everybody calls it like the Wolf Fox or something. This is an S tier costume. I think it looks fantastic. I mean, like, back in Brawl, before my brother and I had unlocked Wolf, this was his favorite costume. This was my brother's favorite costume. And then once we unlocked Wolf, he was like, oh my gosh, there he is. Yeah, and I think the Wolf costume has held a special place in my heart ever since. And I think a lot of people and fans, you guys will agree with me that the Wolf costume is probably one of the best ones that Fox has. Yeah. So S tier. Let's move on. All right. It's Pikachu time. Obviously, default costume goes into A tier. So we'll move right along to his next costume, which is his shiny/red costume. He has the hat that Red wears in the original Pokemon games. If you look at the original art for that game, and that's his hat. And you can tell that he's tinted slightly darker, which is his shiny appearance. I think this is another... a lot of Pikachu's costumes will be S tier, because of just how the inspirations work. Next is the bandana that he wears is based off of Brendan, which is the male protagonist in Pokemon Emerald. It's based off of his bandana that he wears. And again, all these inspirations for all of Pikachu's costumes are really good. And again, I want to drop this costume so far to the bottom because I hate that they've tinted Pikachu green. It looks disgusting. He looks like he's about to throw up. Like, I'm being dead honest. I've always hated this skin solely for that reason. I want to try and keep this as unbiased as I can, but I'm gonna have to do it. This one's a D tier for me. C tier. Next is his costume based off of Ethan from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, his little hat, while Ethan's appearance, I love it a lot. I don't like this hat on Pikachu. This is an A tier. The inspiration's really good. It just, for me, does not look good on Pikachu. Don't think this turned out how the dev teams wanted it to, so. Next has been carried over since the original Super Smash Bros. It's his blue team costume. This is a Smash original costume, but Pikachu just looks so darn freaking cute in this party hat. S tier. He's just so cute. I love him. Yeah, he looks really cute in the party hat. Next is based off of Callum XY. His hat that he wears, and by far, this is my favorite costume of probably the entire roster. Bro, you slap those shades over Pikachu's eyes, bam, he's a gangster. He looks sick. This is an S tier costume because it looks great on Pikachu, and the inspiration comes from probably one of my favorite Pokemon games. Next is the, I don't really know what hat to call this, but this is Pikachu's first female alt. And the hat that she's wearing is based off of Serene's default hat or casual hat in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't like the way it looks. Something's just off about it for me. And I think that's enough to just bump it down into S tier. Next is the Pikachu Libre costume, which gets an instant S tier for me. It looks so darn freaking cool. Like, it's amazing. I love this costume. It looks great in Smash, although I don't play it personally. I think it's a great costume that Pikachu has. And before we move on, I'm probably going to bump up the Brendan alt into B tier because I feel like I did that dirty a little bit by putting it in C tier. Yeah, so that is Pikachu. And now we will move on to the unlockable fighters of N64. Next up, we got Green Thunder himself, Luigi, and a lot of his costumes I really like. Obviously, his default costume goes into A tier. That's where we've been putting all of those. And his next costume, the orange one, I think it's a really neat costume. And this inspiration is very weird. It's kind of like a swap, in a way, of Mario's appearance on the box art of the NES game. I think it's an NES game, Pinball. Although in that Mario's cap is blue instead of orange, but I still really like this costume. The reference is super obscure, which gets a plus for me. Obscure references are some of my favorites. Even though I'm not a huge video game nerd, like I don't know a lot about like a lot of games. Any obscure reference that I find gets an instant plus for me. So this one's gonna be an S tier. His next costume, Pink Luigi, on the original website for Smash Bros, it was referred to as Strawberry Luigi, and I love that. And I've never heard it called that until now. That's so funny to me. I love that, and I think it looks really good. This costume's origin is based off of his box art appearance for Wrecking Crew, or it maybe his in-game sprite, but I like this one a lot. This is another S tier, and Luigi just looks so darn good in pink for some reason. Next is his cyan appearance. This is based off of Mario's original appearance in the original Mario Bros. Game. This one's a little lackluster, I'd say. Although, while Luigi's alts are certainly, I'd say even colorful is an understatement. I'd say this is probably the bottom of the barrel of his very bright ones, which is majority of these costumes. I'm gonna have to put this one into A tier because I feel like it just doesn't fit Luigi's vibe. Next up is his Fire Luigi appearance. Everybody knows this one. It's a classic. It's an S tier for me. And I'm really sad. I don't know why they got rid of Mario's fire costume when they kept Luigi's. That makes zero sense to me. Again, there was certainly other costumes they could have removed in place of the Builder Mario and Wedding Mario costumes. Fire Luigi, S tier. Next is Luigi's Waluigi alt. The only difference from, obviously, original Waluigi and Mario Waluigi is that the L's purple instead of yellow. And I'm really sad that they didn't make it yellow. I feel like that's dumb why they wouldn't do it, because Waluigi is essentially the anti-Luigi. That's obviously why his name is Waluigi. And, you know, why Wario is the anti-Mario. Yeah, I feel like it just doesn't fit to have a character's costume that is clearly based off of it, but not include every little detail. Yellow L on Waluigi right here, but no yellow L on the Luigi costume. It's pointless, but it's still an S tier costume because, like, the Waluigi inspiration is fantastic. Next is this like bluish color. It's weird. But it's based off of Mario's appearance on the Game & Watch box art for Donkey Kong Jr. So this is, again, bonus points for being an obscure reference. I feel like it's too obscure to where nobody would know what this reference is, unless they were like a huge nerd. Like, again, it's Mario's appearance on the box art for a video game on a video game console. Like a classic console. So I feel like this is an obscure reference that I don't think works in this case, and I don't really think these colors look the greatest on Luigi, so this is going to be a B tier. Finally, it's his yellow costume. I have no idea, like, this reference is... I'm going to quote this straight from Smash Wiki. It says, the artwork for this alternate costume shows the L on his cap as yellow instead of the actual light blue color in-game. Resembles the appearance of a boy on the box art for the new widescreen release of the Game & Watch game Manhole, but with grayish-brown shoes instead of red ones. Also resembles his appearance in the Atari XE port of Mario Bros, although Luigi's cap is yellow rather than green. So, this is pulled from multiple things, but again, This is probably too obscure for gamers to really know. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the yellow and, like, the beige pants, or, like, greenish, I don't know. This is another B tier, right along with the, blue one. And that's it for Luigi. Not a whole lot of terrible costumes, except for those last two. Yeah, let's move on. Alright, now we got Ness. Default costume goes into A tier, so his next costume, his white costume, is based off of Fuel from Mother 3. That's the game Lucas is from. The white and red, I kind of dig it. S tier. Next is Bumblebee. That's kind of like his nickname for this costume. It's Bumblebee. I like Bumblebee a lot. This is an S tier. Its inspiration is technically based on the uniforms of the Hanshin Tigers, a Japanese baseball team. The shirt's pattern is reminiscent of the gigantic ant enemy from the first Earthbound. From Earthbound, I guess. Because Mother and Earthbound, even though it's the same series, are very different. Next is like green, orange one. This one is, I'm gonna give it a B tier. I feel like everything clashes a little bit too much. Like the green and the yellow, it looks fine. But the orange on the shirt, I feel does not work. Its inspiration, it's the color scheme of Everdred's outfit in Earthbound. Blue. This costume is apparently based off of his younger self that he encounters in Magicant. This one is an A tier. I don't think it's the greatest costume that Ness has. And although, you know, inspiration points for being maybe an obscure reference, Earthbound fans, let me know. It's just not as great as some of the other ones. Next is, its reference is Mr. Saturn. The sprite literally there's a sprite of Mr. Saturn on the front. I love this costume. It's definitely one of my favorites. Next one, is his cyan. The shirt's pattern is reminiscent of Master Belch from Earthbound. It is definitely darker from how it appeared in Smash 4, to probably more closely resemble how Master Belch actually looks. And his next one, his purple, it's reminiscent of the tile pattern on the file select and character naming screens on Earthbound. And I don't know the original color scheme for that. I'll put a picture of that up, but it is blue. It's two different shades of blue on his shirt. Both of these are B, no. These are both A tier. That's why I grouped them together. That'll do it for Ness. Next up is Captain Falcon. Let's continue. Alright, now it's time for Captain Falcon. His, obviously, original costume goes in A tier. And his next costume, it's kind of like a darker version of his original costume, although his boots are silver instead of gold. It's based off of his appearance in the Japanese commercial for F-Zero X. I will link that in the description so you guys can check it out. Yeah, this is a very obscure reference. This one, yeah, this is a very bizarre reference that I don't think a lot of fans will get, and it's just kind of a generic costume, another A tier. Next is his Blood Falcon costume. This is an S tier. It's amazing. I love it. I love the Blood Falcon costume. It looks so cool. And then it even says on, like, if you didn't know, on the back of Captain Falcon's, like, shirt or whatever, it's got, like, Falcon on it, I think. But for this one, it says Bloodhawk on it. Because that's what's on the back of Blood Falcon in the game. Next is his green costume, which is based off of Wild Goose, another character in the F-Zero series. And this one actually doesn't look terrible, although comparing it to some other ones, this is just an A-tier costume. Next is his blue costume, it resembles his appearance in the original F-Zero and an F-Zero GP Legend, Grand Prix Legend. It's probably just, you know, color choices and designs that they specifically chose. This one's pretty good, although I think it is another A-tier costume, comparing it to the other ones. Next, pink and gold S-tier costumes. They look fantastic. This one, the pink one, white, I don't know, resembles Jodie Summer's appearance in the original F-Zero game. And then the gold one represents Dr. Stewart and Golden Fox's color schemes in the F-Zero series. Yeah, these costumes are great. Next one, his cyan costume. It is maybe based off of Rick Wheeler in F-Zero GP Legend. This one is interesting. It's certainly a different take, or it's very different compared to his other costumes. But I think it's good enough to get an S tier. I feel like it stands out enough from some of the other ones with the more blue heavy color scheme, and then the contrasting that like violet or indigo, whatever color that is, on his scarf. So yeah, let's move on to the final fighter. Alright, the final fighter for N64 is Jigglypuff. First of all, default costume goes into A. In her next costume, it says that there is no clear origin for it, but she's got a little hibiscus flower next to her ear. And I think this one is super adorable, so that is an S tier. Next is based off of Leaf's hat in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Leaf is the female protagonist in those games. I really like this one, and I think it gets an S tier because of its inspiration. Next is... So her color, like the actual color of her body, is one of the possible colors for a nickname Jigglypuff in Pokemon Stadium. And then the hat that she wears is possibly the bug catcher hat that they wear throughout the Pokemon series. This one is an A tier because it's inspiration. I feel like it's a little lackluster. It could be better, and if they found something better to do, I wouldn't mind this one going away. Next is Skin Tone is one of the possible colors for a nickname Jigglypuff in Pokemon Stadium. And what's funny is that I love this, but the hat that she wears is reminiscent of the hat that Kirby wears when copying the sleep ability, when getting the sleep copy ability. This one is super cute, and it's I feel like it's one of those funny like crossover references that I always enjoy. So that's an S tier. Next, it is been carried over since the original Smash Bros. It is her red team costume, but this is probably just an A tier costume for me. I feel like it's definitely evolved past just being the red team costume. It has its own personality now, because typically in the older Smash games before Smash 4, I think. I don't know if Smash 4 had specific colors for teams, but beforehand, like, each character, like, specifically the Pokemon, their skins or, like fur tones would be tinted to the color of the team. So, like, Pikachu's green team costume in Brawl was obviously, the Emerald Band, and it was green. That sickly green color. So I'm really glad now Jigglypuff's red team costume has evolved. Just her being slightly red with the red bow. She's more pink now to closely match her original color, and then she's got the red bow. Next is the hat that she wears is the nurse hat from Nurse Joyce in Pokemon X and Y. I like this one a lot, although I feel like it could be better. So this is in A tier. Next is based off of Serena's hat in Pokemon X and Y to match Pikachu's costume reference of Callum in X and Y. You can't see it in that shot because I cropped it poorly. But it's Serena's hat and glasses from X and Y, so I think that is a really cool reference. I love that hat so much. It just looks so cool. So yeah, that's it for Jigglypuff. That will do it for the first part of the ranking every costume in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate series. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you do. This is a painstaking thing to create. I have to take a screenshot of each costume and then I crop it, put it in a 150 by 150 square. I may do it smaller for next episode just so I don't have to shrink them in OBS. But yeah, I think this will be a series that will probably be one of my favorite series once I'm done with it, although right now it's probably going to be one of my least favorites during the creation process. So yeah, subscribe if you enjoyed. It helps out a lot. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later if you stop enjoying. Follow me on Twitter. That is twitter.com/MC Braggins with a capital B _YT, both capitalized. That's on screen for you guys. Go follow me there. I post a lot of my art that I draw. And then every time I go live on Twitch, you'll get a notification if you have notifications turned on for that. Join the Discord server. You also get live notifications, and when I remember to, YouTube notifications. I should also probably post those on Twitter as well. But if you join the Discord, you can hang out with my community, which we need more people to join. Right now, it's kind of a abandoned cave. That's really all it is. Nobody really talks in it. The only thing I really post there is just those live Twitch notifications. So join, start the community. Let's grow it some more. Yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.